If you have had the opportunity to go to Sambisa, you will know that the Boko Haram have been defeated.
General military vows to bring Boko Haram leader to book.
Card reader has no place in voting. It's used for accreditation.
House of Representatives, to strengthen the Electoral Act, seeks to make provision for the death of a presidential or governorship candidate. Plus, towards improved power supply, Minister inspects Omotosho power plant. Welcome to this edition of NTA Network News with me, Muhammad Kuda Abubakar. The federal government has reaffirmed commitment to ensure that the leader of the Boko Haram terrorist group, Abubakar Shekau, is arrested to face justice no matter what it takes. Minister of Defense Muhammad Mansur Ali stated this to newsmen after an audience with President Muhammad Buhari. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo has details.
Before granting audience to the Defense Minister Mansur Ali, President Muhammad Buhari interacted separately with the service chiefs and heads of other security services in a deliberate move towards securing Nigeria for effective service delivery in line with the change agenda. The President's meeting with the Defense Minister is therefore the climax of his strategic engagement with critical stakeholders on national security and the mop-up operations against Boko Haram to center stage.
If you have had the opportunity to go to Sambisa, you will know that the Boko Haram have been defeated. We have opened up the place. We are using the place as a training area whereby the army engineers will open roads, who shall be patrolling and be ransacking that forest for the whereabouts of Shekau. It's just a matter of time. It took America about 7 to 10 years to get Bin Laden, so we'll get Shekau as soon as possible.
The Minister of Defense Mansur Ali, who is also a retired Army General, expressed gratitude to President Muhammadu Buhari for the unprecedented support and proper guidance of the Nigerian armed forces, thereby restoring their dignity and glory.
And he was impressed with the performance of the armed forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Security situation is something that you cannot get 100%. And remember that Nigeria has been having these turbulences for long ago. We are trying to manage it, whereby every Nigerian will have peace and tranquility and do his normal business. The directive is we should do more, of course. And the more we put our effort, the more the Nigerians get safer.
Also discussed with the President, the Minister said include ways and means of ensuring that the displaced victims of terrorism and insurgency who return to their various communities are adequately supported and protected for a more fulfilling livelihood. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
The ongoing 2017 Nigerian Army Small Arms Championship holding in Sambisa Forest has demystified the dreaded forest. These are the views of guests and participants at the week-long event. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa in Sambisa now reports.
This year's Nigerian Army Small Arms Championship is conducted here in the Sambisa Forest in order to exploit and consolidate on the gains achieved so far in the Northeast operations.
Sambisa Forest is about 70 kilometers from Maiduguri and 15 kilometers from Bama town of Borno State.
Let me first appreciate the members of the armed forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria for finding it deemed or necessary to turn a 60-kilometer square forest into a training area. This has never been done.
To enhance movement, an access road has been provided from Bama, while the entire area for the historic championship has been fully demined.
By this bold and creative decision to hold the Nigerian Army Small Arms Championship right here in the heart of the Sambisa Forest, I do not have the slightest doubt that the pace of the Sambisa, the notorious Sambisa, is totally sealed.
Tents for relaxation, to reduce the harsh sunny weather, mobile clinic and water supply visible for the comfort of participants and guests. All the service chiefs were represented at the event that has 9 Nigerian Army formations contesting for various medals. Apart from the platform being a training exercise and an avenue to test run some heavy military equipment, it is an aggressive show of force to deter criminals from Nigeria territory.
We are going to call on Mr. President to, as a matter of urgency, sign the Northeast Development Commission Act or bill to be presented to him by the National Assembly so that it will help in rehabilitation and reconstruction of the region.
The Nigerian Army say a forward operation base will be established in the Sambisa forest to further secure the area. Ismail Musa, NTA News.
Senate has stepped down for 2 weeks President Muhammadu Buhari's request for confirmation of 27 persons for appointment as resident electoral commissioners in INEC. National Assembly correspondent Wazir Zayano reports that the decision followed an objection raised by Senator Peter Nwaboshi from Delta State in protest to the continued stay in office by the EFCC acting chairman Ibrahim Magu.
Senator Peter Nwaboshi, who raised a point of order, said the Senate needs to know the results of earlier suggestions given on confirmations and appointments to the presidency by the National Assembly. Other senators also commented on the motion.
Issues like this have to transcend the issue of political parties or where you are believed, but for the interest of Nigerians.
The preparation for the conduct of 2019 election is the submission of resident electoral commissioners to the Senate for screening and approval.
These resident electoral commissioners just appointed, I'm aware that some of them, those positions have been vacant for over a year, including one from my state.
The plenary stood down the request for 2 weeks to enable the Senate President consult with the presidency. In another motion, Senator Emmanuel Poka appealed to the federal government to assist in offsetting backlog of pension arrears of retired workers through bailout funds. Senator Barrow Jibrin, through another point of order, refuted publication by a section of the media which stated that 13 illegally imported vehicles were found in his house and that the house was sealed by security agents.
This is clear case of calumny to smear my good name. I was in my house throughout this weekend with my constituents. We were all in my house. My house was wide open, but no Helios vehicle was in my house.
In a related development, Senator Hope Uzodinma also refuted another media publication associating him with seizure of 30 containers of rice by the customs at the Tin Can Island port.
We received as a committee a petition from Master Energy Commodities alleging that they imported 30 containers of rice. As a committee, what we did was forward the petition from this Master's Energy to Nigerian Customs Service through this letter.
From the National Assembly, Wazir Zayan, NTA News.
Still at the National Assembly, the House of Representatives has passed for second reading a bill for an act to amend the Electoral Act 2010, which seeks, among other issues, to make provision that in the event of the death of a presidential or governorship candidate, the running mate shall replace the late candidate. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Unko has the report.
Issues bordering on electoral process dominated proceedings at the floor as members spent time debating the amendment of the 2010 Electoral Act. The bill, sponsored by Representative Aishatu Dokun from Gombe State and 3 other members, also seeks to make the use of card reader mandatory in Nigeria's electoral system.
By making the card reader the credible means of voters' accreditation and voting.
Any attempt to introduce a card reader into our electoral act, we will vehemently oppose it on this floor.
We must see to the fight of electoral corruption, and a card reader under all circumstances must have to be protected.
Card reader has no place in voting. It's used for accreditation.
A candidate of a political party for president or governorship died, that his deputy should step in to conclude the election.
Executive arm, in its wisdom, has even set up an electoral reform committee. What is being done today should serve as a wake-up call for that committee.
However, There were divergent views on the introduction of diaspora voting, which was one of the issues the bill seeks to address.
Wherever you reside, you have the right to decide.
Diaspora voting is not going to work. It doesn't make sense. Let's first of all get hold of those people who are on Nigerian soil first.
The House mandated its Committee on Finance, Housing and Urban Development and Regional Planning to investigate the alleged non-remittance of 5.6 billion naira by the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, moved by Representative Osai, Nicholas Osai. Representative Johnson Abonyiman moved that the Ministry of Defense should put a stop to what he referred to as commercialization of Nigerian Navy, which he particularly explained that a private firm is seeking business partnership with the ministry.
To investigate the arrangement for a business model between the Ministry of Defense, the Nigerian Navy, and Shorefire Consortium and others.
Meanwhile, Speaker Yakubu Dogara has mandated all standing committees to submit their 2017 budget report before Thursday this week. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
The House of Representatives ad hoc committee to investigate revenue leakages and the activities of the Department of Petroleum Resources DPR has been inaugurated. The committee says it will ensure that all revenue leakages, especially in the issuance of onshore and offshore permits, will be blocked.
We also asked for details of some offshore accounts in the name of the Department of Petroleum Resources, domiciled in Citibank, New York, and any other relevant information that they might wish to avail the committee.
The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, has described the interplay between members of the executive and the legislative arm of government as an indispensable element of the democratic process, with potential positive effect on the oil and gas industry in the country. The Group Managing Director, NNPC, Dr. Maikanti Baru, stated this in a message to the Executive Legislative Intelligence Management course of the Institute for Security Studies, Buhari in Abuja.
In appreciation of the importance of the National Assembly to our operations, a full department headed by a general manager is dedicated to managing the relationship between the NNPC and the legislation.
Dr. Baru said the NNPC is currently collaborating with the legislature and other industry stakeholders to ensure the passage of the Petroleum Industry Governance Bill, PIGB, also referred to as the Petroleum Industry Bill. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, says its attention has been drawn to the recent reports that it has suspended 202 staff indicted by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. A statement from the Commission's secretary announced that the statement, or rather the report, is incorrect as it is still in the process of investigating the allegation and interviewing all staff concerned in accordance with the principle of fair hearing. While promising to make its decision public at the conclusion of the process, the statement adds that in line with INEC staff conditions of service, no disciplinary action can be taken until the conclusion of the process. The Nigerian Air Force says it is currently placing much emphasis on the research and development as a way of building indigenous technology capacity. The Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, stated this at the 9th Bola Tinubu Colloquium in Lagos. Ken Egbalugeli reports that the theme of the colloquium is "Make it in Nigeria. Use what we make what we use."
The Bola Tinubu Colloquium focuses on the entrepreneurial and innovative spirit in Nigeria. The goal is to create a space where ideas and people relevant in Nigeria can share knowledge and experiences with the aim of preferring solutions to the challenges facing the sector. Discussing Nigerian Air Force research and development efforts towards self-reliance, achievements and future deliverables, the Chief of Air Staff enumerated some of the local innovations by the Nigerian Air Force to maintain its array of platforms, weapon systems, and associated equipment.
Nigeria faces several internal security challenges, ranging from militancy in the South-South, pipeline vandalism in the Southwest, cattle rustling in the northwest, and Boko Haram terrorism in the northeast. The Nigerian Air Force has successfully deployed its air assets in conjunction with ground troops to end or reduce some of these challenges.
In a goodwill message, President Muhammadu Buhari, who was represented by the Interior Minister, commended Senator Bola Tinubu for his exemplary leadership quality and his immense contributions to the economic and political development of the country.
Tinubu is a great mobilizer and a practical man of action. He is equally effective in conceiving, planning, and executing governmental development policies.
Senator Bola Tinubu challenged Nigerian youths to use their creative insights to initiate innovative programs that will not only improve the nation's economy, but give them a voice in the Committee of Nations.
We send them young talents. Don't ignore them. Let's help them. Nigeria is preparing, and paying attention to the ease of doing business in this country. The giant of Africa will never fall.
The 9th Bola Tinubu colloquium is held in commemoration of the 65th birthday of former governor of Lagos State and national leader All Progressive Congress APC in Lagos. Ken Igbeluge, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has felicitated with the former governor of Lagos State and chieftain of the All Progressives Congress APC, Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu, on his 65th birthday. President Buhari joins all members of the APC, political and business associates of the Asiwaju of Lagos, his friends and family, in celebrating another milestone in the life of the great leader, whose political experience led to the better understanding and consensus that culminated in unseating an incumbent government. President Buhari expressed the belief that the Asiwaju raised the bar for many political leaders across the country as a two-term governor of Lagos State. He noted that the Asiwaju bequeathed a style of leadership that completely altered the landscape of Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria. Recalling his pleasant and intellectually enriching encounters with the Jagaban Borgu over the years, President Buhari affirms that Nigeria has benefited a lot from the personal sacrifices, political experience, and intellectual foresight of the APC chieftain, and still stands to gain more. President Buhari prays that Almighty God will grant the Asiwaju good health, longer life, and more wisdom to serve his country and humanity. Barely 24 hours after its directive to deposit money banks in the country to sell foreign exchange obtained from it to retail end users at not more than 360 naira to the dollar, the Central Bank of Nigeria has crashed the rate at which it sells foreign exchange to bureau de change in Nigeria to 360 naira and directed them to sell to end users at not more than 362 naira to the dollar. The Central Bank of Nigeria Acting Director of Corporate Communications, Isaac Okorafo, who confirmed the directive in Abuja, disclosed that the CBN under the new policy will sell foreign exchange to the licensed bureau de change at the rate of 360 naira to the dollar, while they will in turn sell to customers at a rate not more than 362 naira to the dollar. Mr. Okorafo said the objective of the new foreign exchange sale policy, is to ensure a convergence of the rates in the interbank and bureau de change, stressing that the CBN remained committed to ensuring transparency in the market as well as fairness to end users, many of whom before now had experienced challenges in accessing foreign exchange. Joining me now to discuss this development is Farouk Shehu, former director in the Central Bank of Nigeria. You're welcome, Mr. Farouk Shehu.
Thank you, Mohammed.
From 520 naira in February to 360 now in March, how do you assess the steps taken so far by the Central Bank of Nigeria to stabilize the naira and defend the naira?
Thank you very much, Mohammed. Let me start by saying that the one person that has sleepless nights whenever the naira depreciates is the Central Bank governor. So it's not as if the Central Bank has been just resting on its oars without doing anything. But this decision was taken at the right time, and I think it is timely, because the foreign exchange market was reaching a crisis point. And the two challenges, the main challenges that the economy was facing, that is the issue of the oil price and the Niger Delta crisis. Luckily, these two issues, these two challenges have been addressed to some extent. So that actually brought in more dollars into the coffers of the central bank. And with that, they are able to take the decision that they've taken, which, like I said, is timely.
So how will this impact the economy?
Oh, of course it will impact the economy positively, because when you look at the Nigerian economy, which is import dependent, and the exchange rate 2 years ago was at 197, and as I speak to you, we're talking of before the decision that the central bank took was almost 520, heading to 600 naira, and that will impact on the economy, because take, for example, the recent decision to allow school fees, medical, and PTA. That alone, brought the rate down, because there are so many people that they had their children abroad, and they wanted to send money to them by all means. And the only option they had is to go to the black market, and that kept pushing the rate in the market upwards.
Will this make our industries more productive, so that we will also be able to earn foreign exchange as a result of the products we are selling outside?
Oh, certainly, because the less dependent we are on foreign goods, the more money we have to address other areas. Look at the successes recorded in the agricultural sector, for example. Once we move away from importing rice and other commodities that we are accustomed to, of course the central bank will have more funds to play in the market. And don't forget also that before 2 years ago, our stock market was very, very vibrant. But today, most of the foreign investors have left the market because of the foreign exchange crisis. So once the central bank is able to bring the rate to a reasonable level, which I think it is going towards that direction now, I believe the foreign investors...
What is that reasonable level?
Well, when you say reasonable, it's...
you said it yourself.
Yes. I believe that from 360, we should expect maybe 320. In the next
320 is reasonable. Now, observers are saying, how sustainable is this kind of policy? We are told that more than $1 billion have been pumped into the interbank market to stabilize the naira.
Oh,
is this sustainable?
It is sustainable. Don't forget that there was a time when the central bank was giving Electoral 1 million naira a week. So if the foreign reserves, like I said, if the foreign reserves, accretion to reserve, they call it, if it goes up, the central bank will continue, because don't forget that we had a foreign reserve of about 20 billion a couple of months ago, and because of the, like I said, the increase in the price of oil, the foreign reserves is now over 30 billion. So I believe the central bank will be able to sustain this policy.
Mr. Farouk Shehu, we'll have to leave it there. We will bring you again maybe some other time when we reach that 320 or even less.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Farouk Shehu is a former director of the Central Bank of Nigeria. You can watch this news live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device at the Google Play Store or at the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. Still to come, government pledges to address challenges in the solid minerals sector. Details after this break. Thank you.
From what we have seen, we have the capacity which we can rapidly develop or feed in ourselves. If we don't import rice, we stop importing corn and other grains, Nigeria will have plenty of money to invest into developing industries, especially manufacturing, textiles and so on, and develop iron and steel, and complement the infrastructure development. So really, the opportunities are virtually limitless, and we are very, very aware of this, and we are prepared to exploit it to the fullest.
Let's pepper them. So tell somebody to tell everybody to come join Timaya, baby.
I did bring too much sauce.
Glow Mega Music Talk.
It's gonna be a mad over your 10.
You're ready to win a show stoppers.
I'm your host for the biggest show ever.
If you miss the store, you're gonna miss everything. So join me, guys. Let's turn up.
We'll be storming across Nigeria. I won't be anywhere else.
Everybody who is anybody
is going to be there.
All Nigeria's A-list musicians.
One big stage.
Live and direct.
Glow Mega Music Tour all over Nigeria.
So watch out because we dey come.
Let's go!
It's the Glow Mega Music Tour with your favorite anchors and special guest stars. It's gonna be untamed. Text music and your preferred location to 207. Use 3,000 Naira Glow airtime in 1 month to stand in line for your free ticket. So what are you waiting for? The Glow Mega Music Tour.
Glow Unlimited.
Go now. No mind the boy. I register am for computer school so that he go sabi use computer to write UTME exam. The boy can't play football. Not tear your pikin here for nothing. To write UTME exam now. Na selenkejo.
You don't need to sabi plenty computer. Just sabi damn special 8 keys where they on top computer. A, B, C, D for to take answer question. P for preview or back. N for next or forward. Double click S for submit. And arrow for return or reverse. And send or fund. Not be 6 months again, no. Now only 1 month. From March 20 to April 19. No more scratch card, oh. Buy your pin at approved banks and waka go any approved JAM CBT center for registration. Meanwhile, optional mock exam day for April 8. And the main exam will start from May 6, 2017.
You sabi any special Wuruguru center where I fit put my pikin so that even if he fail, he could pass? Yes. Look, you better tell your pikin now to read well, because no wuru plus mago for jump again, no. If you don't read well, you go fail.
This message is by Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, enhancing academic excellence.
Babe, who be this?
I got this, okay? Just...
Found it. Honey, you can keep him. I've got this.
Do anything to get your Airtel SIM back on if you haven't used it for 30 days or more to enjoy 20 times the recharge value. Recharge 100 Naira and dial *241# to get 2,000 Naira.
No, and then there's a girl.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board presents the maiden edition of the Nigerian Oil and Gas Opportunity Fair 2017. Theme: Advancing Indigenous Participation in the Nigerian Oil and Gas Industry for National Development. The fair brings together major players across all sectors of the Nigerian oil and gas industry. Chief host Governor Udom Gabriel Emmanuel of Akwa Ibom State. Special guest of honor Dr. Emmanuel Ibe Kachuku, Minister of State of Petroleum Resources. Guest of honor is Dr. Mekanti Baru, GMD Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation. Special guest Senator Basi Albert Akpan, Chairman Senate Committee on Gas. Honorable Emmanuel Ekon, Chairman House of Representative Committee on Local Content. Host Engineer Simbi Wabote, Executive Secretary NCDMB. Date March 29 to 30th, 2017. Time 9 to 5 p.m. daily. Venue La Meridian, Ibom Hotel and Golf Resort, Uyo, Akwa Ibom State. You're all cordially invited.
Hello?
Welcome to the M6 Challenge. Using your new Gioni M6, carry out everything on that list. Starting now.
Gioni M6 with a 5,000 milliampere battery that lets you go on for 2 days on a single charge. Gioni M6, always in power.
The Future Assured project and its components Get Involved, initiated by the wife of the President, Her Excellency Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, is not relenting in championing the cause of Nigerian women and children. Its provision of free medical screening, educational support, and the fight against malnutrition, especially in the Northeast, has indeed informed international recognition, partnerships, and awards.
We are very grateful and appreciative for your wonderful gesture you have accorded to us.
With future assured, Nigerian women and children are assured of a bright future.
Future is assured when we join hands to promote the health of our women and children. Get involved.
Get involved and support the Future Assured initiative. Future Assured, promoting and protecting the lives of Nigerian women and children.
Thank you for remaining with NTA Network News. Minister of Works, Power and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, says the National Integrated Power Project should sustain efforts of ensuring optimal contribution to the national grid by the Omotosho NIPP generation plant. Hamza Musa Magarfi has the report.
Omotosho NIPP generation plant with 4 turbines has 500 megawatts capacity. However, like other power generation assets, daily operational challenges on gas availability and frequency from the system operator can affect delivery. The minister says the contribution by the plant exemplifies the incremental power initiative of the government. But the immediate host of the power plant, a Omotosho community, has concerns over the lack of electricity supply.
So, and they are promising us now that before the end of April, right? Yes. It will be done. Before the end of April. So go and tell them.
Southwest Nigeria is home to 2 NIPP power plants and some of the biggest transmission projects which impact on the nation's power sector. Hamza Musa Magalpi, NTA News.
Minister of Mines and Steel Development, Dr. Kaede Fayemi, says government's commitment to address challenges in the sector as an approach to fully maximize its potentials remains key. Joe Iwuzo reports that he stated this at the 53rd Annual International Conference and Exhibition of the Nigerian Mining and Geosciences Society in Nigeria. The report.
Bureau of Statistics in a recent report identified tangible growth record in the extractive industry and agriculture sectors of the economy. That has further encouraged the federal government in the drive to diversify the economy. Minister of Mines and Steel Development Kayode Fayemi, who represented President Muhammadu Buhari at the conference, says government's aspiration is to build a world-class minerals and mining ecosystem to serve a targeted domestic and export market for minerals and ores. The minister says funding, which is one of the major challenges, is being addressed.
The federal government recently approved 30 billion naira from the Natural Resource Fund to promote both exploration for new minerals and also support artisanal mining.
The problem is to translate the resources into exploitation, into operational activities. And there is no miracle. So you need an enabling environment.
While working to resolve issues concerning the Ajaokuta Steel Company and illegal mining activities in the country, experts say creating an enabling environment for investors to thrive is important to the new aspiration. In Abuja, Joy Uzo, NTA News.
Nigerian Customs makes a major drug seizure. This and more and from our Lagos Network Center with Demola. Hello, Demola.
Hello, Kudu. Good evening and warm welcome to Lagos. Following a tip-off, officers and men of the Federal Operations Unit and the Comptroller General's compliance team have intercepted a container filled with 5,056 cartons of analgesics tramadol. The Comptroller General of Customs, Colonel Hamid Ali, made this known while examining the seizure in Lagos.
The container carrying analgesics were intercepted by men and officers of the Nigeria Customs Service along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. The analgesics are dangerous drugs under prohibition. The Comptroller General of Customs, Colonel Hamid Ali, while examining the contraband, explained that the importer brought in 3,845 cartons of tramadol and 1,211 cartons of real extra.
If you compromise the first layer, you may not be able to compromise the second layer or the third layer. And that's the result of what we're seeing today. And this is what we will continue to do until Nigerians, all of us, customs or non-customs, begin to realize that these things like this are inimical to our own progress, are inimical to our own health. They are dangerous to the economy.
He used the opportunity to call on importers to desist from unpatriotic acts capable of tarnishing the image of the country. He also hinted that measures are being taken to tighten the land borders and that officers involved in clearing the contraband will face the full wrath of the law.
We have to have 3 layers of defense in order to accost this type of thing. Otherwise, if you allow it, if you leave only the ports or the borders, a lot of these things will find their way in and nobody will trace it. So we're not deliberately harassing people, but we're trying to secure the society.
The duty paid value of the drugs is set to worth 242,688,000 naira. The drugs were produced in India and the United Kingdom.
Nigerians have been asked to see the dignity of human persons as enshrined in the Constitution as sacrosanct to guaranteeing a solid family life. Speakers at this year's African Regional World Congress of Families say it has become necessary for all, especially the civil society organizations and the media, to champion the call for the restoration of human dignity. Tunde Saiki reports.
In the past, the African continent hosts the family as a natural phenomenon, a class of entity that must be honored and not abused. These are class of persons that will not be allowed to put the lives of another on the stake in whichever guise. Emerging trends these days are challenging, as man has become subject to seeing a girl as boy, and vice versa, because of modernity and even guaranteeing abortion as alternative to population control.
Most of these ideas coming against the families are purely alien to our people. We need not allow them to destroy the African society.
We took in a lot of things, like we took in religion, we took in education, and along them we took some other things that are not good for us, and that is corruption.
Science actually supports the idea that strong families lead to better development.
Other speakers at the Congress described the family as a fundamental unit of the society, which with other current trends in the same society is being destroyed by individualism and sexuality education.
A radical agenda that destroys the family, that runs counter to Nigeria's culture and values.
A law is only meaningful and a law is only good for society when it intersects with morality.
The 3-day Congress is expected to look at issues of rights and freedom of the society, sexuality education, international donor agency, and the institution of marriage to mankind. In Lagos, Tunde Saiki, NTA News.
You're still watching NTA Network News. We now take a break for some messages, after which the news continues. Stay with us.
God will damage you with blessings. The wisdom where God give you when you take the water, they find all these places where they sell better food. He never give Solomon one.
Thank you, sir. I submit the formula for enjoyment. Well, pass every other apprentice for this place.
Yes, sir. If anybody see fish and say it go better for you, that person they blind though. Because yesterday, today, and your future now they chop so.
Put now no food be this one. Nah, here is the place they give me 4 times wetin I buy.
Isaka, I can explain, sir. Hey, Isaka, come back here.
Introducing Glow Formula. Get 4 times your recharge to make local and international calls. Text and browse. To recharge, dial *323* PIN # to enjoy 4 times.
The largest data network, Glow Unlimited.
This must be one of Mother Nature's greatest gifts. But there's something else it gives us. When we see such beauty, we want to share it with those we love. That's what LG wants you to see. Just what we see now, through our technology. LG OLED TV.
Coca-Cola?
Oh, it's happy hour. So, you want a free Coca-Cola, but you have to drink it here.
Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board presents the maiden edition of the Nigerian Oil and Gas Opportunity Fair 2017. Theme: Advancing Indigenous Participation in the Nigerian Oil and Gas Industry for National Development. The fair brings together major players across all sectors of the Nigerian oil and gas industry. Chief host Governor Udom Gabriel Emmanuel of Akwa Ibom State. Special guest of honor Dr. Emmanuel Ibe Kachuku, Minister of State of Petroleum Resources. Guest of honor is Dr. Mekanti Baru, GMD Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation. Special guest Senator Basi Albert Akpan, Chairman Senate Committee on Gas. Honorable Emmanuel Ekon, Chairman House of Representative Committee on Local Content. Host Engineer Simbi Wabote, Executive Secretary NCDMB. Date March 29 to 30th, 2017. Time 9 to 5 p.m. daily. Venue La Meridian, Ibom Hotel and Golf Resort, Uyo, Akwa Ibom State. You're all cordially invited.
It's finally here, the most anticipated sports show on live television, featuring great sports icons from ex-internationals to famed journalists and administrators. It doesn't come bigger than the Sports Parliament, which premieres live on the NTA Network this Thursday from 11 p.m. till 12 midnight. Be a part of the biggest sports talk show on television. To help chart a successful path for Nigerian sports, 11 p.m. to midnight on Thursday on the NTA Sports Parliament, where the eggheads converge.
You're watching NTA Network News live from our Abuja Network studios. On business news, consumers of digital services get tips on how to avoid malpractices on the cyberspace. Over now to Moplan Dakok for details.
Hello and welcome to Business News. As the use of mobile phones, internet and other digital technologies continue to spread across the country, individuals and businesses who use digital services are faced with some challenges as well as consumer abuses. NTA Business News spoke with the Director of Surveillance and Enforcement of the Consumer Protection Council, Leke Ogundibe, and sought to know what consumers should do to avoid unscrupulous practices.
Use of digital devices and ages is a very fast process. So you need to be informed. And also, people go onto sites that they do not have any form of certification. Make sure you demand your rights from the service provider or the product provider. And if you do not get satisfaction from them, then you can report to the CPC.
And time now for a quick check at closing figures of trading on the Nigerian Stock Exchange market, which closed on a negative note today. And that does it on Business News at this time. Thank you for watching. I am Moplan Dakok.
Promotion of effective competition amongst domestic manufacturers to enhance business relationship between consumers and traders was the focus at a two-day training workshop for stakeholders organized by the Standards Organization of Nigeria in Calabar, Cross River State. Ode Alenyo reports that the training, in collaboration with Clems and OK Synergy Limited, also examined metrology as a science of measurement and instrumentation.
The need for standardization of products to build confidence, decency, and truth in the minds of consumers was emphasized at the workshop to eliminate doubts and suspicions. Chairman of the event, Mr. Essien Basi, said the training workshop is apt since devices are being humanly manipulated either by sellers or buyers to cheat on one another. Mr. Basi stressed the need to standardize and reorientate stakeholders, in particular to know the basic principles of standardization.
It's all about
building people's confidence in measurement and instrumentation.
Head of Operations Standard Organization of Nigeria, Cross River State, Mr. Mike Obuji, represented by Kemi Waribe, and that of Claims and OK Synergy, Oyeyemi Ayode, enumerated the benefits of the training workshop.
Such programs should be organized more often to further enlighten the public on the need to adhere to standards.
This program, organized by the Standard Organization of Nigeria, has a primary objective of educating the manufacturers, the farmers, the consumers.
Some participants at the workshop said it has broadened their knowledge on measurement and instrumentation.
This workshop is the right step in the right direction.
Now I know many more things about standard products.
In Calabar, Ode Alenyo, NTA News.
Suleiman Regachiku in our Kaduna Network Center has more on NTA Network News. Over to you, Suleiman. I'm afraid we're not getting the audio from Suleiman in Kaduna. Moving on now, towards a smooth and result-oriented Hajj operations, the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria is collaborating with the Islamic Republic of Pakistan to develop a software to make Hajj operations in Nigeria ICT-based. Ilyasu Ali Yakubu reports that Pakistan's assistance is at no cost to Nigeria, but will rather strengthen diplomatic relations between the two countries.
Hajj operations in Nigeria over the years have been done manually with attendant challenges, among others from racketeering in registration of intending pilgrims, delay in airlift of pilgrims, corruption by middlemen, accommodation and feeding. Worried by this development, the National Hajj Commission sought the intervention of Pakistani Ministry of Hajj Operations to replicate its ICT-based operation in Nigeria to make it less cumbersome, corruption-free, quick and easy operations.
And we cannot continue to have pilgrim registration being done manually, which allow rooms for a lot of accusations and counter-accusations.
If this system is developed, all the things will be automated and it will save time.
Leader of the Pakistani team, Saima Sheikh, at a training session for ICT officials of NACOM, said the ICT-based operations has worked for over 4 years in Pakistan, emphasizing that if implemented in Nigeria, it will be to the benefit of both Hajj Commission and intending pilgrims.
So if all the steps are automated, it would be easier to manage, easier to make it visible, easier to make it transparent.
The training drew ICT officials from the 36 states Pilgrims Board and the FCT. In Abuja, Ilyasu Ali Yakubu, NTA News.
Up ahead, global tidbits, sports news, and Wednesday's weather prospects. Don't go away.
Made in Nigeria goods and the drawbacks of substandard product is in focus on Tuesday Live. Defining the economy through Made in Nigeria goods on this week's edition of Tuesday Live. Tuesday Live, informative, educative, and incisive. Don't miss it.
The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, is working to ensure access to safe, good quality essential medicines with the World Health Organization pre-qualification of Made in Nigeria pharmaceutical products, stiffer penalties for fake drug offenders with a review of NAFDAC laws, national, regional, and international collaborations, cutting-edge technologies, including the mobile authentication service.
NAFDAC impacts upon everything we do, including water we drink, the food we eat. They are important organs to the development of this country. And everybody should come out and join them and support them and help them to achieve the greatest benefits and success that they need to record.
Let us support NAFDAC to win the war against fake drugs and other unwholesome regulated products. NAFDAC, safeguarding the health of the nation.
We have the total submission to the will of Almighty God. We regret to announce the passing on to eternal glory of our president and proprietor, Very Reverend Father Dr. Christopher Iyewa Utov, whose death occurred on the 17th of March 2017. Until his death, he was a priest of Catholic Diocese of Katsina and president, FIDE Corporate Institute. Details of the burial arrangement are as follows. 29th March 2017, there will be mass at St. Francis of Assisi Catholic Chaplaincy, FIDE Polytechnic Boko by 8 a.m., which will be followed immediately by a procession by FIDE Polytechnic community and other well-wishers. 30th March 2017, there shall be a wake at St. Gerard Majella Catholic Cathedral, Katsina, which will be preceded by a mass at the same venue by 6 p.m. prompt. 31st March 2017, there shall be a funeral mass at the same venue, which will start by 10 a.m. and interment will follow immediately after mass at the same venue. Signed, Dr. Oliver Teso Agundo, for and on behalf of FIDE Corporate Institute.
On the international scene, South Africa mourns anti-apartheid veteran Ahmed Kathrada with more tributes. This and more on Global Tidbits with Chimdimba Ndibisi.
In South Africa, the president has ordered that the national flag be flown at half-mast in honor of anti-apartheid activist Ahmed Kathrada, who died at age 87 after failing to recover from brain surgery. Ghana's President Nana Akufo-Addo has stopped the purchase of new vehicles for government officials, saying it's to reduce government expenditure and deploy more money to improve lives. From Gabon comes a report that the president has initiated a national dialogue to resolve the political crisis that ensued after presidential election in August. In the meantime, the World Health Organization is warning of the spread of measles across Europe. With Italy and Romania reporting more cases of infection and deaths, WHO is concerned that travel patterns mean no country is beyond contracting the disease. It is therefore recommending a 95% vaccination of the population. That's Global Tidbits. Chimdema Ndubisi, NTA News.
On sports, Nigeria Professional Football League enters week 16 midweek, and the league is reportedly assured of more support from government. Kene Mabudike brings us more on Sports Update.